Good evening, everyone. Welcome Kent County Levy Court Business Meeting. Notice and agenda, Kent County Administrative Complex, 555 Bay Road, Dover, Delaware. Levy Court Chambers, Room 203, Tuesday, May 23rd, 2023. Before we go into the agenda, our County Administrator will go on for the next procedure, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Angel. This meeting is being offered in person at 555 Road, Dover, Delaware, in room 203. We're also making it available for people to join us via the internet through WebEx. Participants can either join us by computer or telephone throughout the course of the meeting. There will be opportunities for public comment from those attending in person or online at the designated times. For those joining us by phone, press *3, which will raise your electronic hand so our operator can identify and bring you into the meeting. Pressing *6 will mute and unmute your line. If you're on a computer, at the bottom of the screen you'll see the hand and microphone icons, and we ask that you use those at the appropriate time. We also ask that all comments from our guests be preceded by stating your name and address for the record. This meeting is being recorded and will follow all the rules of procedure adopted by Levy Court as well as the Mason's Rules of Order. Mr. Angel, back to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ken. We'll call the meeting to order. We'll have the invocation by Commissioner Joanne Maston, Pledge of Allegiance by Commissioner Hall, and a moment of silence for our first responders. Commissioner Scott, please stand.
We pray for the salvation of those who are in leadership, for those who are saved, those who have put their trust in your Son, Jesus. Give them the wisdom to govern according to your law. Amen.
At this time, I'd like to offer a moment of silence for our troops and our first responders, and thoughts and prayers with those that have lost their loved ones. Thank you.
Ms. Tanaka, will you please call the roll?
Mr. Hall?
Here.
Mr. Hertz?
Here.
Mrs. Maston?
Here.
Mr. Pepper? Absent. Mr. Scott?
Here.
Mr. Sweeney? Absent. Mr. Angel?
Present, and I believe Mr. Pepper is online. I don't know if he's getting through.
Yeah, I'm here.
So Mr. is here. Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 present, 1 absent.
Okay, let the record show we have 5 here, 1 away, and 1 absent. Excuse me. Adoption of the agenda. Motion and a second.
Motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Maston, second by Commissioner Scott. Any further questions? Mr. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show 6 in favor, 1 absent. Approval of the Levy Court business meeting minutes of Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Hall made the motion. Commissioner Masson made the second. Any further questions? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Resolution for retirement 3994, retirement of Gail E. Mass. You want to read that into the record, Ms. Tanaka, please?
Whereas the retirement of Gail E. Moss, an employee of Kent County, State of Delaware, from her duties as Archives Clerk, Department of Administration, Levy Court Office, presents a suitable opportunity for expressing the esteem in which we hold Gail E. Moss as a good and faithful public servant. Therefore, be it resolved that the County of Kent express its warmest appreciation and thanks to Gail E. Moss for the able and loyal manner in which she performed her public duties. Be it further resolved that this resolution be her evidence of a right to the pension provided by the Kent County Employees Retirement Program, and that this resolution be and hereby is incorporated into the official minutes of the May 23rd, 2023 meeting of the Kent County Levy Court.
Motion and a second, please.
So move.
Second?
Want to call the roll, please?
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Record shows 6 in favor, 1 absent. Since I know she's not here tonight, we'll make sure she gets this. And she lives in my district and Mr. Pepper's district, and we've been together since I've been a commissioner. So, and because of where she lives in an area that got flooded years ago, we became closer, not just works, but also good friends. And I'm sorry to see her go, but everybody earns that time for retirement. And she has done that, so wish her the best. Okay, next item is the employee month for June. Do you want to read that into the record, please?
Kent County Department heads have selected Edward A. Siemens from the Department of Public Safety as the June 2023 Employee of the Month. Ed is a dispatch shift supervisor in the Division of Emergency Communications and started with Kent County on December 16, 1998 as a Dispatcher 1. In 2000, he was promoted to Dispatcher 2, then to Dispatcher 3 in 2020. His position was retitled to Dispatch Shift Supervisor in 2021. His primary duties include supervising an assigned shift of emergency 911 dispatchers, taking numerous emergency and non-emergency administrative calls received through the enhanced 911 phone system, and determining the exact location of the emergency incident and dispatching the proper response agency and equipment in and around Kent County. Ed also has taken on the responsibility of ensuring the state of readiness of the Mobile Emergency Command Center, which includes, among other things, scheduling regular vehicle mechanical services and keeping the technology and equipment on board operational. He is also a dedicated volunteer for the Dover Fire Department and the Magnolia Fire Company. According to Public Safety Director, Ed has been a loyal and devoted county employee and 911 dispatcher for more than 23 years. His supervisors praise him for his willingness to always step up whenever called upon by taking on extra shifts to cover coworker vacations and call-outs due to illness. His commitment to the fire service is matched only by the pride he has for Kent County. Congratulations, Ed, on the job well done, and he resides in Commissioner Angel's and Pepper's districts. The tribute reads, Kent County Levy Court, June 2023, Employee of the Month, Edward A. Siemens. On this, the 23rd day of May 2023, the Levy Court of Kent County, State of Delaware, does hereby recognize Edward A. Siemens, Dispatch Shift Supervisor, Department of Public Safety, Emergency Communications Division, for his exceptional initiative, dedication, and conscientiousness in the delivery of services to the citizenry of the county.
Levy Court Commissioners, if you'll meet me out front, we'll have Mr. Siemens come down and receive his award. Wow, this is great, what they've said about you. And, you know, I know our EMS is second to none. I mean, we are the best in the state and the country as far as I'm concerned. In fact, you know, a little over a year ago, I had my heart attack, and I'm here because of you guys. So I want to put that out there too. So, but thank you for what you do. You make us look good. And I know sometime you'll be up here for retirement sometime too, but I hope we have people replace you just like you've already set the standard. Thank you.
Congratulations, Ed, on a job well done. Hopefully we see you back here in December.
Eddie, we go back quite a few years. I can honestly say it's been a pleasure. You're a pillar in public safety, and for that, I thank you.
Well, Eddie, I've known you for a long time, and congratulations.
Well, Eddie, I just met you, but appreciate everything you do for the community. It's such an important job. I really appreciate it. Congratulations.
Well, congratulations. I just want to know, are you put up for this because you're the only person who has a garage door in public safety? So.
Mr. Pepper, you still on? You want to say something, sir?
Sure, yeah. Eddie, congratulations. I'm not surprised. Eddie comes from a great family, Magnolia, so appreciate all your hard work, Eddie. Take care.
Thank you. And a few words, sir?
It's just all a team thing over at the 911 Center. None of us are any good without our team. The leadership, everything, just from the bottom to the top.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, public hearings, application C-2304. Ms. Kiefer, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. First, just a word about how the hearings tonight will be conducted. This public hearing is being conducted for the purpose of giving the citizens of the county the opportunity to present testimony on the applications before the levy court. Everyone will have a chance to speak. All statements are to be made from the podium at the front of the room. Unless joining online, please follow those directions. For the record, please give your name and address. Copies of any written statements or exhibits used during the hearing should be presented for identification and inclusion in the record. For each application before the levy court, the president will introduce the application. The levy court will then receive testimony from all of those in favor. Testimony will then be received from those who may be opposed. After everyone has had an opportunity to speak, the hearing on the application will be closed, and the levy court will take what action it deems appropriate. Levy court's decision will be based upon public hearing testimony given at this meeting and a recommendation submitted to the levy court by the Regional Planning Commission. I would ask that that recommendation be included by reference in the permanent record of this meeting established by the clerk of the peace. The public notice of this hearing was published in the May 5th, 2023 edition of the Delaware State News. The first application before the levy court, C-2304, is a conditional use application for a home-based contractor's establishment. The site itself is 1 acre on Tanglewood Drive, just north of Milford. The site zoned AR, agricultural residential. The Regional Planning Commission took testimony on the application at their May 4th hearing, and at their May 11th business meeting voted unanimously to recommend approval, citing the fact that the application complies with all of the conditions of approval, complies with the comprehensive plan, and would have no adverse effect on the public. Again, this comes with a unanimous recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Ms. Kiefer? Seeing none? Okay, thank you. Open up the public hearing. Anybody in favor of C-2304, please come forth. State your name and be sworn or affirmed you're not a lawyer, please.
Excuse me?
State your name and address and be affirmed or sworn in by our attorney if you're not an attorney.
Okay, my name is Juan Carlos Contreras. My address is 86 Tanglewood Drive in Milford, Delaware 19963.
Mr. Contreras, do you swear or affirm, sir, to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Proceed.
So I'm trying to build this building. I'm a small drywall contractor. I'm trying to get my tools and my materials. I'm trying to get stock, like, mud, everything we use for as of drywall, which is screws, corner beads, glue, and try to make it easier on us, saving time and money by going to the, say, Home Depot or Lowe's, picking up materials instead of just grabbing them there and go to the job sites. And I also want to put some other 2 vehicles that I have that I want to put inside the building. It's pretty much just for storage. That's all.
Any questions? None? Thank you, sir. Anybody else in favor of this application, come forth, please. Anybody else in favor? Anybody opposed? In opposition? Anybody online? I'm sorry. Mark?
If there's anyone joining us online that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this application C-2304, please indicate by raising your electronic hand at this time. I see no hands raised, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Okay, anybody opposed or not in opposition, come forward. Seeing none. Mr. Scott?
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance number LC 23-11. The ordinance authorizing the issuance of a correction. Make a motion for C-2304. Okay, my apologies. Make a motion C23-04 for agricultural residential home-based contractor, area and location of 1+ acres on the north side of Tanglewood Drive, approximately 400 foot west of Big Stone Beach Road, being Lot 10 of the Tanglewood subdivision north of Milford, MD-00-163, 00-03, -09, 00-000.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Scott, seconded by Commissioner Masson. Any further questions? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes, based on staff and RPC recommendations.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes, based on staff recommendations.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes, based on reasons stated.
Mr. Scott?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
The record shows 6 in favor and 1 absent. Thank you. Okay. Ms. Kiefer, is this yours too? Okay. Application CS 2302.
Application CS 2302 is a conditional use site plan for the expansion of an existing retail facility. The site is zoned BG General Business. The proposal is to add both warehousing and expand the existing retail. The site's on the east side of South DuPont Highway, south of Harrington. The Regional Planning Commission took testimony at their May 4th hearing. At their May 11th business meeting, they voted unanimously to recommend approval, and that included approving a waiver from the frontage sidewalk and the connector sidewalk. Given the character of the area, the Planning Commission is recommending sidewalk would not be appropriate to be installed there. The Planning Commission also found that it meets the conditions of approval for the proposed use, and that there would be no negative impact in the area. So again, this is simply an expansion of an existing retail facility. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Ms. Kiefer? Thank you. Open up public hearings on CS 2302. Anybody in favor, please come forth. Be sworn or affirmed if you're not a lawyer.
Hello, my name is Sam Chick, 646 Kilns Pond Road, Harrington, Delaware.
Mr. Chick, sir, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Honorable Commissioners, thank you for hearing our application tonight. We're here for a warehouse project, distribution center, which in combination with a large investment in software and equipment is going to allow us to continue to expand our e-commerce business. We've been in this business for 50 years now, and this is the next step to allow us to continue to grow and expand. So thank you for hearing us, and I'll turn it over to our engineer, Mr. Palmer.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob Palmer from Beacon Engineering, representing the applicant. Address is 23318 Cedar Lane, Georgetown.
Mr. Palmer, sir, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
I'll keep my my comments brief this evening. I started my presentation with the RPC Commission by commending staff. The recommendation report basically was my presentation to the RPC, and I'll let that recommendation and comment letter stand for our application this evening. Ms. Kiefer did an outstanding job with our presentation. Our application is fairly simple. We'd like to continue what we've been doing, just a little bit larger. There were a number of comments in the letter in the comment letter that I would like to just very quickly update everyone on. One, there's no wetland disturbances proposed through the application. The forest clearing is limited to only that which is needed to construct the buildings, replace the septic, and locate the stormwater back near Browns Branch. We have made contact with the City of Harrington, and annexation is required in order to obtain water and sewer from the town. Having said that, water is across the street, which makes it remote, and sewer is north of the railroad tracks, which makes it even more remote. So we'll be relying on well and septic for our water and sewer needs. The well will be sized to refill the 125,000 gallon storage tank for fire protection based on the fire marshal requirements. The only other comment that I wanted to make is that we are within an excellent recharge area, and even though we're in an excellent recharge area, our soils mapping showed contrary, but regardless, we intend to comply with the source water protection ordinance, and we're proposing a submerged gravel wetland for pretreatment, which we'll be permitting through the Kent Conservation District. The sidewalk waivers, we submitted a couple of letters into the record, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Any questions?
No, but I just have a comment. Sam was gracious enough to invite me out there yesterday. I had no clue about the business that he had running there, and I was very impressed. At the same time, I could see that the type of business he was running, he's in cramped quarters and needs this extra space to expand his business, not only for him and his family, but for Kent County in general. And I think this is a great project, and hopefully it gets approved.
Thank you, Mr. Hertz. Anybody else?
Yeah, their family's been there for a long time. I mean, I remember when they started out, they were nowhere near the size they are now. So through generations, it's just been a growing industry and a growing business. And Sam, it's really good to see you guys prospering like you are. Thank you.
Anybody in favor? Anybody else in favor?
Good evening, everyone. Just want to let you know that the Kent Economic Partnership has worked with Sam and his family since they, sorry.
I think I should swear you. Address, Mrs. Parkowski. What's your address?
Address?
Yeah.
1442 Skeeter Neck Road.
Yeah. Do you swear or affirm, tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Sorry for the interruption.
That's okay. No problem. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, we've worked with Sam and his family when they first came up with this idea. This business is needed, and just as Commissioner Hertz said, it's a great business. They definitely need to expand, and this is a perfect example of an existing business in Kent County that we need to support and give all the help that we can give. So we're very proud that this business is in the county, and the Economic Partnership is committed to do anything that we can do to help them. Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Parkowski. Anybody else in favor? Anybody else in favor? Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Mark, anybody online?
If there's anyone joining us online that would like to speak in favor or in opposition to this application, CS 2302, please indicate by raising your electronic hand at this time. I see no hands raised, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, sir. Close the public hearing. Mr. Hertz. Mr. Hertz.
All right. I'd like to propose application CS 23-02, Chick's Warehouse and Distribution Center. Owner applicant is Sam Chick and Frank and Linda Chick are the trustees. The zoning district proposed use is BG, General Business Warehouse. Area and location is 13.26 acres located on the east side of South DuPont Highway, 0.19 miles south of the intersection of Corn Crib Road and South DuPont Highway, south of Harrington, MN-00-180.0 0.00-02-20.01-000.
Seconded.
Motion made by Commissioner Hertz, seconded by Commissioner Masson. Any further questions? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall,
Yes, based on staff and RPC recommendations.
Mr. Hertz,
Absolutely.
Mrs. Maston,
Yes, for reasons stated.
Mr. Pepper,
Yes, Chicks have always been great economic development type people for King County, and all previous statements, yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes, for reasons stated.
Mr. Sweeney absent, Mr. Angel,
Yes, for reasons stated.
Mr. Vice President, roll call, reveal 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show it passes 6 in favor and 1 absent. Thank you. Okay, next one is I have to hand the gavel over, but I'm going to have Ms. Kiefer start it off. LC 2307.
Thank you. Ordinance LC 2307 is an ordinance to amend the zoning map and the comprehensive plan future land use map. The site is just under 3 acres on the northeastern side of Horse Pond Road, adjacent to the city of Dover. It's currently zoned AC, agricultural conservation, and the proposal is to rezone to BG, general business, with a comprehensive plan designation of highway commercial. The Regional Planning Commission took testimony at their May 4th hearing. At their May 11th business meeting, they voted unanimously to recommend approval, citing that the proposal indeed complies with the comprehensive plan. Most specifically, the land use strategies map shows this area as an employment center. And they found that it is indeed in keeping with the character of the surrounding area. So again, this comes with a recommendation for approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Ms. Kiefer? Just one for me, since it's my district too. Since it's being changed from low density residential to BG, residents in that area wanted to know about the problem we've had in that area. Is that possible that that could be incorporated with that land?
I'm not certain what you're
Well,
speaking
to be
about. A
more
different
specific,
landowner.
the Coker problem.
Right. At this point, we don't know what the land use might be.
Okay.
It would more than likely go through a site planning process, and the Planning Commission would address any design criteria at that point.
Okay. Okay. Open up public hearing on LC 2307. Those in favor?
Good evening, Vice President Angel and Commissioners and the Honorable Clerk of the Peace and staff. My name is Connie Malmberg. My address is 30 The Green, Dover, Delaware. I'm not representing this application. It's my application. This is my company. And as Ms. Kiefer said, it is a three acre, slightly under 3 acre parcel of land on Horse Pond Road. You know the area, Mr. Angel. It's turned industrial. It's an industrial corridor. To kind of directly answer your question, the intention for this property is to use it as contractor mini warehouses, kind of like the gentleman who was doing the land use, the home contractor need. There are other similar properties along Horse Pond Road, and they're all filled to capacity. There's a need in the county to get these contractors out of the surrounding hinterlands and into areas more like this, more geared towards commerce and industry. I'm not going to repeat what both the Planning Commission and the staff report says. That there's the 9 applications that have been in this area that are cited in the staff report from AC, all went to either IG or IL. They've all been approved, and they're listed in the application too. So I got a long evening. I'm glad to answer any questions, but I'm not going to recite the staff report. It's pretty clear.
Any questions for Mr. Malmberg? Well, Mr. Malmberg, the only thing I can say is that you got one of the best pieces of ground. It's the highest elevation in Dover, is what I'm being told, so.
Certainly for Horse Pond Road, it's high because there's a few swampy ones out there.
So it's very well what you're going to be doing with it, and thank you.
Can I give a shout out to Lori Tanaka, who I worked with 32 years ago at the county, and she's still here looking just the same as she did back then. Nice to see you, Lori.
Thank you. And you are a lawyer, so that's why you weren't sworn in.
I'll swear anyway. I'll do it.
Okay.
I swear all the time. So.
Thank you. Just for those who may not know. Anybody else in favor?
Good evening, everyone. Zach Rabola, business developer for the Kent Economic Partnership, and I reside at 610 East Street, Camden, Delaware, 19934.
Sir, do you swear or affirm tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. We are here to support this project. The Kent Economic Partnership backs this. This is an area in which we are trying to locate the industrial buildings, warehouses, and manufacturings. This aligns with our targeted industries, and we have the support for this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else in favor? Anybody online, Mark?
If there's anyone joining us online that would like to speak in favor of this application, CZ 2304, please indicate by raising your electronic hand at this time. I see no hands raised, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mark. Anybody opposed? In opposition? Anybody opposed? Anybody online, Mark?
If there's anyone joining us online that would like to speak in opposition of this application, CZ 2304, please indicate by raising your electronic hand. Again, no hands raised online, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Close the public hearing.
If there are more questions, Commissioner Angel, make a motion on LC 23-07.
Thank you. Yes, move to approve LC 2307. The reasons stated, conditional use by RPC and staff.
Second.
Motion made, seconded by Commissioner Scott. Any questions on the motion? Very well. Ms. Tanaka, please take roll.
Mr. Angel?
Yes, as per my motion.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes, as per recommendation.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes, it's in the general character of the area, and its facility is needed greatly in Kent County. So yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes, reason stated.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Hall?
Yes, per staff and RPC recommendations.
Yes. Commissioner Hall, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
6 yeas, 1 absence. LC 23-07 passes.
Ordinance LC 23-11, issuance of bond.
I'd like to make a motion to ordinance LC 23-11.
This is a public hearing, right, Ken? So we need somebody to speak about it first.
It's noticed as a public hearing.
I'm sorry. That's okay. Go ahead, Ms.
I'll
Stein.
turn it over to Diana and let her talk.
So this is an ordinance for funding for the Whispering Pines Mobile Home Septic Elimination Project. This is a project that was approved and budgeted through Levy Court, and this is a required formality, and the documentation was prepared by bond counsel.
Any questions for Ms. Diana? Okay.
Point of order. Did we overlook ordinance LC 23-08, or was that removed from the agenda?
It's not on my agenda, Mr. President.
Yeah, okay, it must have been removed earlier then. I wasn't aware. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. Okay. Open up the public meeting for LC 2311. Anybody in favor? Anybody online? Mark?
If there's anyone joining us online who would like to speak in favor of application or ordinance LC 23-11, please indicate by raising electronic hand. See no hands raised, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Anybody in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Anybody online, Mark?
Similarly, if you would like to speak in opposition of LC 23-11, please indicate by raising your electronic hand. Still no hands raised online, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you. Close the public hearing. Mr. Hertz, ordinance LC 2311.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance LC 2311, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a Kent County general obligation bond in the amount not to exceed $722,856 for the Whispering Pines MHP Septic Elimination Project, Phase 2, and authorizing all necessary actions in connection therewith.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Hertz, seconded by Commissioner Maston. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Thank you. 6 in favor, 1 absent. Ordinance LC 23-12. Ms. Golt, you're up again, please.
Similar to the prior ordinance, this is a funding ordinance for a different project. It's for the air blower and optimization and plant-wide generator projects at the wastewater treatment plant. These projects have been budgeted, and the documentation was prepared by bond counsel. And this is a formality required to get a loan closing. So we, of course, the Department of Public Works supports this ordinance.
Any further questions for Ms. Golt? Thank you. Open up the meeting, the ordinance LC 23-12. Anybody in favor? Anybody in favor? Anybody online, Mark?
If you're joining us online and would like to speak in favor of LC 23-12, please indicate by raising your electronic hand at this time. No hands raised, Mr. Vice President.
Anybody in opposition? Any opposition? Anybody online, Mark?
Similarly, if you'd like to speak in opposition of ordinance LC 23-12, please indicate by raising your electronic hand. Still no hands raised online, Mr. Vice President.
Hearing LC 23-12. Mr. Hertz, you're up again, sir.
I'd like to make a motion to approve ordinance LC 23-12, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of up to $3 million general obligation debt for Kent County for the air blower optimization and plant-wide generator phases of the wastewater treatment facility capacity expansion and nutrient removal project, and certain other wastewater treatment plant upgrades, and authorizing all necessary actions in connection therewith.
Second.
Made by Commissioner Hertz, seconded by Commissioner Hall. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Record shows 6 in favor and 1 absent. Thank you. Close the public hearings. Under old business, Mr. Hertz, you're up again, sir.
Okay, this was tabled from a prior business meeting. It's in reference to the dryers that we accepted a bid on last year. And we tabled it because we wanted to find out a little bit more information. But at this time, we're willing to put a motion forth to pull out of the contract with BCR. Miss Diana, you want to speak?
We got to lift it from the table first. Lift it.
I make a motion to lift it from the table.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Hertz, seconded by Commissioner Scott. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Now, just want to speed it up a little bit, Ms. Tanaka. Now, Mr. Ken Decker, our administrator, has something to say, and Ms. Gold.
Well, this item has been discussed multiple times with the Levy Court commissioners. At the time, we were eager to move forward with the contract. However, there's an issue with the bonds. So at this time, there's a motion and documentation prepared by the county administrator and myself to rescind the notice of award and look to the other firms that place bids. There's actually the wording of the motion in the memo that was submitted with the packet. Don't know if you have any other questions about that or if you'd like to hear more from Ken.
Any further questions?
No questions, but do you have the motion, Commissioner Hertz? Yeah, I just joined Diana in the staff recommendation, and I think we have the concurrence of our finance director, Susan Durham, to suggest that we've waited long enough for the company to provide the requisite performance bond, and that it's in the Levy Court's best interest to move on and to try to find an alternate solution to this.
Okay. Ms. Galt?
One thing to note for the record is that BCR did submit a letter that will be included in the minutes.
Can you speak up, please? I can hear you.
BCR did submit a letter that was in the packet for the commissioners and is in the, so that would be included in the minutes of tonight's meeting, and that you all did have it to consider.
Mr. Hertz?
Okay, put a motion forward for approval. Move to rescind the May 2nd, 2022 notice of award previously approved by Levy Court Commissioners on April 26th, 2022. For the purpose submitted by BCR Environmental Corporation for purchase of equipment for the biosolids expansion project on the basis that the firm did not provide the bonds required by the request for proposal, and to authorize the Public Works Director to enter into negotiations with the firm that submitted next highest ranked proposal for said equipment.
Second.
Commissioner Hertz made the motion. Commissioner Scott makes a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney? Absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
The record shows 6 in favor and 1 absent. Next item, Ms. Maston.
Back on May 9th, there was some discussion concerning an RFP for building inspections that had been tabled, and I'd like to lift that motion from the floor.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Maston, seconded by Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show 6 in favor and 1 absent. Okay, new business. Need a motion to move forward? Thank you.
I move to award a contract for construction plan review and building inspection services to Code Solutions Incorporated of Harbison, Delaware, with said contracted party to be compensated on a fee-for-service basis at an hourly rate of $87.50, with a contract start date of July 1st, 2023, and an initial contract expiration date of June 30th, 2024, and which said contract may be extended on an annual basis for up to 2 additional fiscal years upon the mutual consent of the vendor and the county. I further move to authorize and direct the President of Levy Court to execute said contract on behalf of Levy Court.
Second.
Second motion.
Commissioner Masson makes the motion. Commissioner Scott seconds it. Any further discussion? Now, Ms. Tanaka, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show it passes 6-1. Okay. New business. Mr. Scott.
I move to approve a change order 4 for the West Dover EMS Station project, authorize the payment of $40,892 and close out the project, and authorize President Pepper to execute said change order number 4 on behalf of Kent County Levy.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Scott, seconded by Commissioner Maston. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show it passes 6-1, please. Next item, Mr. Hall, introduction. Resolution 3995.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Introducing resolution number 3995, a resolution to extend the Kent County Stormwater Maintenance District pursuant to Chapter 52, Title 9 of Kent County Code and Section 90.4.E10, Chapter 187 of the Kent County Code.
Thank you, sir. These are all introductions, so you might as well just go ahead and go down the list.
Just to follow up on that one, I just want to announce that it's for a public hearing on Tuesday, June 27th, 2023 at 7.
Yes, thank you.
Introductions on the public library tax.
All right. Making the following introductions of ordinances pertaining to the creation of library tax districts. Public hearing will be held on Tuesday, June 13th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Ordinance LC 23-13, an ordinance creating the Duck Creek Library Tax District. Ordinance 23-14, an ordinance creating the Lake Forest Library Tax District. Ordinance LC 23-15, an ordinance creating the Caesar Rodney Library Tax District. And LC 23-16, an ordinance creating the Capitol Library Tax District.
Thank you. Next 12 introductions.
Introductions of the following resolutions and ordinances pertaining to the fiscal year 2024 budget for public hearing on June 13th, 2023 at 7 p.m. Resolution 3981, fiscal year 24 property tax rate. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court affixes the property tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 36 cents. Resolution 3982, fiscal year 24 Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Old Mill Acres Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 4.4 cents. Resolution 3983, fiscal year 24 Royal Grant Suburban Park District tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Royal Grant Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 24 to be 5.7 cents. Resolution 3984, fiscal year 24 Eagles Nest Suburban Park District tax rate. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court affixes the Eagles Nest Suburban Park District tax rate for fiscal year 24 to be 6.5 cents. Resolution 3985, be it resolved, Kent County Disposal District Number 1 user rates. Be it resolved that the user rate for Kent County Disposal District Number 1 for fiscal year 24 be $2.84 per 1,000 gallons of sewage transmitted into the district. This rate will be assessed on sanitary sewer districts and others except septage haulers contracting with Kent County for sewage disposal services. Resolution 3987, fiscal year 24 Milford Library District tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Milford Library District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 7.75 cents. Resolution 3996, fiscal year 24 Duck Creek Library District tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Duck Creek Library District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 3.3 cents. Resolution 3997, fiscal year 2024 Lake Forest Library District tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Lake Forest Library District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 3.3 cents. Resolution 3998, fiscal year 2024 Caesar Rodney Library tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes the Caesar Rodney Library District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 3.3 cents. Resolution 3999, fiscal year 24 Capitol Library tax rate. Be it resolved that Kent County Levy Court affixes Capitol Library District tax rate for fiscal year 2024 to be 3.3 cents. Ordinance LC 23-10, an ordinance adopting the budgets of Kent County, Delaware for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023. Whereas Kent County Levy Court Commissioners have diligently reviewed actual revenues and expenses for fiscal year 23 and projected revenues and expenses for fiscal year 24, and whereas after careful consideration, Kent County Levy Court Commissioners have developed budgets for all general, restricted, and other funds, now therefore the Levy Court of Kent County, Delaware, hereby ordains, Section 1, that Kent County Levy Court fiscal year 2024 budget incorporated herein by this reference is adopted as the annual operating budget of Kent County, Delaware for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023 and ending on June 30th, 2024. This ordinance is adopted pursuant to the powers conferred upon Levy Court of Kent County, Delaware and the Delaware Code, Title 9, Section 4110. Section 3, if any section, paragraph, sentence, clause, or phrase of this ordinance shall be declared invalid for any reason whatsoever, such decision shall not affect the remaining portions of this ordinance, which shall continue in full force and effect. And to this end, the provisions of this ordinance are hereby declared to be severable. Resolution 3988, command for collection of sewer delinquent accounts. Be it resolved that the Kent County Levy Court commands Director of Finance to collect sewer delinquent accounts by district as of March 31, 2023.
Thank you, sir. Next one is under you also, the appeal escrow.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. I move to authorize the Finance Director to deposit into escrow all funds required for the appeal of pending litigation contingent on the approval of county attorney of such legal documents as might be necessary.
Need a second?
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Hall, seconded by Commissioner Masson. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show it passes 6-1. Ms. Masson, you have an appointment?
Yes, I have paperwork, and I think all of you have that, an appointment to the Kent County, to County Economic Partnership. Sheriff Norman Barlow, I think his background here is certainly supports itself. He's the current town manager, I believe, of Harrington. Sheriff for Kent County, spent many years working at the police force there in Harrington, attained the rank of chief. Obviously, would be a great individual to be added to the Kent Economic Partnership.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Masson, second by Commissioner Scott. Any further discussion? Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
The record shows 6-1 in favor. Okay, under other business, Commissioner Hall, if you'll read number 2, please.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Move to go into executive session immediately following the committee meetings of June 6, 2023 for preliminary discussion on site acquisition for a publicly funded capital improvement, legal strategy session regarding collective bargaining or pending or future litigation, and personnel matters pursuant to 29 Del C 10004 B2, 4, and 9.
Second?
Motion made by Commissioner Hall, seconded by Commissioner Maston. Ms. Tanaka, please call the roll.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Mr. Hertz?
Yes.
Mrs. Maston?
Yes.
Mr. Pepper?
Yes.
Mr. Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Sweeney, absent. Mr. Angel?
Yes.
Mr. Vice President, roll call reveals 6 yeas, 1 absent.
Let the record show 6 in favor, 1 absent. It passes. Informational items. Anybody with informational items?
Yeah,
Commissioner Hertz.
yeah, I'd like to give a shout out to Kristen and IT. When I first became a commissioner, I complained when I got my phone that I had no phone numbers in it. She took it upon herself and has made an app for our phones that we can put on there, and then all we got to do is hit somebody's name, their picture comes up, all their phone numbers and information. She did one heck of a job, and I'd like to give a big shout out to her.
Anybody else? No? Well, tomorrow night is our Survivor Night at 6 p.m. for EMS, for those who have survived a heart attack, or so if you can make it, it'd be nice. Any public comments? Any public comments? Nobody online, Mark? Any commissioner comments? Mr. Pepper?
Yeah, it's 86 degrees. Skies are clear. The sand is white and gentle waves. with winds from the west. Other than that, y'all have a great week. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy yourself. We're not having leadership tomorrow, but we are going to look at probably doing a workshop on the 6th, possibly. Is that right, Ken?
And we'll, I think we talked about in concept having committee meeting before, if we're having a June 6th business meeting, to spend an hour going over some budgetary things.
And this is a reminder, too, that I won't be here on the 13th. I'll be in Washington on the 11th to the 15th. So I don't know if I'll be able to call in because this course is supposed to be so intense. I don't know what I'll be doing or where I'll be at. But anyway, I just want to remind everybody. So you all have a great Memorial Day, safe one, and need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Commissioner Hall made the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Scott made second. All in favor? Aye. Aye.
Aye.